All right, glad to have our next guest. You might be wondering why audio only, and that's because Skype is being a little bitch.
It does that.
Glad to have our next guest. You have seen many of his videos on YouTube/RazörFist. 0 instead of an O. You see what he did there?
See what he did there.
So, Mr. Fist, glad to have you with us, sir.
Godspeed. Thank you for having me on.
Well, listen, do you hear a little bit of the Dennis Miller in his voice?
I do hear it now.
He does a great Dennis Miller impression, which I'm sure has lost a lot. I don't want to put you on the spot, Razor, but you can hear it in his voice. It's in his natural tone.
It is. It is.
I think it's because my family's originally from Pennsylvania. I think we're from the same place.
Oh, okay, that's right. Where did he go? He went to what's the name of that college there? Point Park. I went to Point Park there, where I am. You know.
Why don't I sound like Tom Hanks then? We're both from Cleveland.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably must be the hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
So, Razor, listen, I wanted to have you on. We'll have you back because I know we have to keep it brief now because all this Skype stuff. But first off, I don't want to misrepresent you for people who will claim you a heretic for being on the show. You and I don't necessarily agree on everything politically. How would you consider yourself sort of a moderate atheist, libertarian?
Let's see. What's right of Mussolini? No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm right of right. I'm extremely, I would say, like a libertarian. Actually, I would go with Goldwater Republican.
Okay, all right. Just but a very devout. I wouldn't say devout, staunch atheist.
Staunch.
Well, I would say I'm just indifferent to religion. I would, whatever you call that, agnostic. I don't care.
Okay.
I don't give a crap apologist.
Okay, all right. Well, I just say that because I didn't want to miss it where people will be like, whoa, would you call that a conservative Christian show? I wanted to shield you from the flame war right away. But you did put up a video that caught my attention. As you know, we've been, and Tranny Bain has been waging a war against YouTube for a while. You uploaded a video saying it's not an algorithm, it's a blacklist with YouTube. Explain that for our audience because it's hard to know heads or tails with YouTube, and we don't want to be, the boy who cried blacklist. But you did upload a compelling video.
No, like many of you, like yourself, I awoke about a week ago to discover the Fistalnacht had been enacted. Like normally, you have green icons for monetized, red for not monetized, gray for not enabled, and the newly minted yellow, of course,
yes.
$sign for limited, which is basically red only polite.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I'm sure I don't have to tell you my playlist was more yellow than Hillary's teeth.
Yes.
So, and all thanks to this asinine algorithm that's going on. So I was just getting like a 5-alarm BS alert from the idea that this algorithm could somehow effectively parse the disparate accents of all these different people, not to mention volume and microphone variables for precise verbiage, so it could whack us all with a censorship stick. I mean, I don't know about you. Have you seen auto-generated YouTube captions?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Well, have you seen auto-generated YouTube ads? This is Google, the most technologically advanced company in the world, and they're putting on ads for Muslims freaking singles on my page.
Yes, bang on. Like I'm sitting here in my videos introducing myself, and the subtitles say "Starshine Space Cruisers, the symbol for boron."
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. So we're going into elemental charts. It is. That's the thing. It's like, are you the most technologically advanced company in the world? Or do you not know your thumb from your dick? Which is it? Because they hide behind whichever's most convenient that day.
Hey, and this is the system that they're selling to us as an empirical enforcement tool for the great wide interweb. Gal 9000's been auto-translating me into declaring war with Zaire for the last 7 years, but now they want us to believe she can spot every instance of wrongthink from the Hubble telescope. Yeah, sure, I buy it.
Well,
so I kind of surmised that it was probably only half the story.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to experiment.
Yes.
I uploaded an innocuous video of me literally saying blah, 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 gave it a generic video game title, top 5 games or whatever the heck, filed it under private, and it was instantly flagged like the dickens. I mean, instantly. It was on private. It was still flagged.
Wow.
Algorithm, my aching ass. Like, phone up Fat James Spader. It is a full-blown blacklist.
You make me very sad. You make me very sad because it was such a stark contrast from Boston Legal, went into hiding, came back out blacklist. You're like, James Spader, what happened? You were the high school douchebag athlete in the 80s. I can't watch you anymore. You look like a Benjamin Franklin in a black raincoat. Let me ask you this, because do you remember How the World Works? Do you remember Lee Doran? He was one of the first kind of conservative YouTubers. You may not. He hasn't been super active. They just removed one of his videos for hate speech. And you know what the video was? He's never uttered a cuss word. He's not a Trump guy, not an alt-right guy, libertarian guy who worked at think tanks. The video, the premise, and it was titled, Japan Wasn't the Victim in World War II. And he talked about their alliance with the Nazis and their violent encroachment in China. It was removed as hate speech with a hard strike on his account, which makes me worry. You know, we're a pretty big channel. We're pretty grateful to be successful. But when we go and we talk with YouTube, and that's why we reach out with people like you, not to say you're a little channel, but you're in that middle range where I think YouTube is trying to prune ones like yours and Lee's first, hoping people won't notice as much.
Yeah. I tell edgy jokes with a generous peppering of profanity. I am entertaining no illusions that my content is terribly high on the Milton Bradley Corporation's list of prospective advertising partners. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah. But, no Hasbro sponsorship soon.
Yeah, but for that not to backslide into outright censorious cherry picking, it has to be evenly applied.
Right.
I mean, if the end game is to purge the self-righteous of wrongthink or dispose of verbose long-haired ranters with a predilection for pee-pee jokes, Google is going to need to explain to me, like, why John Oliver, for example, or Russell Brand can punctuate their weekly socialist invective with omnipresent F-bombs and, you know, more C's than a Megan orgy, still have ads for Fisher Price and fallopian cleansing products festooned across the margins of their cringe-inducing videos. Yes. Like, it makes no sense. Case in point, I actually was interviewed, I think in the same article that you were recently this week, where I said that I had recorded a video rebuttal at a human douche smirk by the name of Sam Seder, you may have heard of.
Yes, I know Sam Seder. Yeah, I remember when he had the gall to go out and say he didn't find Jerry Seinfeld or Dennis Miller funny, which is why, you know, listen, this is the first attack the left does, and that's why I think John Oliver's funny. I think Jon Stewart is unbelievably funny. I don't find Amy Schumer funny, but when someone like Sam Seder says Jerry Seinfeld's not funny, Dennis Miller was never funny, you go like, oh, you have no credibility. But yes, continue.
Yeah, yeah. So, long story short, he is and holy God, do I have to break out the air quotes here, comedian. He naturally records, he records a half-assed rejoinder that contained my video almost in its entirety. Right. YouTube's algorithm flags mine for demonetization. Like, okay, I told some racy jokes at his friend Andy Kindler's expense, understandable, yet somehow Samwise is still being served ads on his rejoinder for seconds. Like,
and the challenge is
channel.
Sorry, I hate to get sure. I think he used the word predilection and pee-pee in the same phrase. It was I think that, and by the way, for people who don't understand, this is the difference between someone like RazörFist and a YouTube hack. He understands the juxtaposing using a big word and penis jokes in the same phrase. That contrast, that is comedy. We talk about that all the time. It's a switch.
Like calling the Holocaust silly.
Yes, like calling the Holocaust. It was unnecessary, to say the least.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, I want to bring you back when we have Skype going, because there's so much to dive into here with the monetization and what's clear favoritism. But I do want people to go watch your video, because this is another component where, like he said, he just uploaded something random. He conducted a science experiment. And the upload time is something that we need to be aware of. So for everyone out there listening, follow RazörFist. Keep watching his videos and let us know. Tweet me at SCrowder or tweet at NotGayJared, because people need to know it's not just the demonetization. It's some videos that are monetized might as well not be, and the upload, the processing speed. There are a lot of other soft biases that you don't see. So, Mr. Fist, I really appreciate you raising awareness of that, and hopefully next time we can see your wonderful punum.
Fantastic. I'd love to come back.
Absolutely. That was RazörFist with a 0. We'll be right back after this to wrap this show up in a nice bow.